right into this explainer. Today, we're unraveling the incredible animated mystery of Sabzipur. On the surface, yeah, it just looks like a quirky little vegetable village. But trust me, we are looking at a powder keg of centuries-old secrets, deep betrayals, and buried truths. If you thought this was just some simple cartoon about talking vegetables, you are going to have your mind absolutely blown. So let's get into it. Picture this. You're just hanging out in your hometown, having a totally normal evening, and boom, the ground violently jolts right beneath your feet. Every single light in the village blows out. It is pitch black. And then, out of nowhere, this booming, terrifying voice echoes out, "You only have 3 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. I mean, talk about a heart-pounding opening, right? The sheer chaos of this sudden earthquake just throws us right into the deep end. And it's not even just the ground shaking. Imagine looking up, expecting to see the nice, normal night sky, and instead, it's a thick, menacing blood red. So why did the sky over Sabzipur suddenly turn blood red? That's the exact moment characters like Pyaz the onion and Aloo the potato realize, okay, something is seriously wrong. A red sky with zero explanation, that tells us right away we are not dealing with a normal earthquake here. Something way darker, something totally unnatural has just woken up.
Section 1. Mysterious Earthquake and Warning.
So as the ground literally splits apart, this hidden, century-old sealed door is violently ripped open. And you really have to notice Dada's reaction here. The village grandpa doesn't just see rubble. He sees a literal nightmare from his childhood coming right back to haunt Sabzipur. You can hear the sheer terror in his voice when he realizes this path, which was supposed to be closed forever, is wide open. But honestly, it's what's written just inside that door that'll really freeze your blood. Let's just pause for a second. Whoever lies will die first. That is the chilling inscription carved right into the wall of this newly uncovered path. The story slows way down right here just to hammer home these deadly stakes. We are definitely not playing hide and seek anymore. This is a literal death trap built on truth and deception. The second they step through that door, the villagers have to face the music. Their survival completely depends on absolute unflinching honesty. No pressure, right? Moving on to Section 2, the 100-year-old secret. Okay, so we need to understand what's actually at the center of this whole mess. It's an artifact called the Earth's Heart, or Darti Haridia. Now, this isn't just some shiny trinket. It is an ancient, magical artifact buried deep underground. It's basically the anchor holding all of Sabzipur together. Keep it safe and balanced, and the village above is totally fine. But tamper with it, or remove it entirely, the earth completely shatters, and the earthquakes literally will not stop. Missing this artifact is the entire reason the apocalypse is happening right now. The timeline here kind of explains the whole shebang. Exactly 100 years ago, there was this dark betrayal that forced Dada's ancestors to hide the Earth's heart in the first place, a massive secret they kept buried just to keep the village safe. And well, that brings us to the present day. The seal breaks, the massive earthquake hits, and that terrifying door pops wide open, which of course leaves us staring down the barrel of the future, an impending, totally unknown threat that is going to turn the whole village to dust if they don't get that artifact back. Section 3. Theft of Earth's Heart. So deep underground, our villagers finally run into the guy holding the Earth's Heart. He's a vengeful survivor. Turns out he didn't trigger this earthquake by accident. He stole the artifact on purpose. And his motive? It's actually incredibly tragic. See, he genuinely believes that 100 years ago, the entire village completely ignored the desperate cries of his dying parents. He's been down there in the dark for a century, just festering, totally convinced that Sabzipur abandoned his family. And now he wants the whole village to feel the exact same earth-shattering pain he felt back then. Which brings us to Section 4, Truth of the Real Enemy. To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to look at our two big bads side by side. First, you've got the mistaken enemy, that survivor we were just talking about. He's acting out of pure raw grief and a massive misunderstanding of history. I mean, they find this old diary that proves his parents weren't abandoned by the village at all. But then we have the real 100-year-old enemy. This is an ancient entity that literally fed on greed. It manipulated everyone, spread total fear, and intentionally created the false narrative that destroyed the survivor's family. In the end, the survivor and the village were both being played the entire time. And right when they figure this out, the real danger shows its face. The ancient entity literally emerges from the shadows as this terrifying, suffocating, dark mist. And it just brazenly admits to starting the whole tragedy a century ago. It literally boasts about spreading the fear that tore everyone apart. It is such a chilling moment in The Explainer because our heroes suddenly realize the threat is way older and way more dangerous than anybody thought. Just listen to this realization from the story. The real enemy that day wasn't the earthquake, it was greed. Wow, right? It just beautifully highlights that underneath all the flashy animation and the supernatural thrills, this is really a fable about human flaws. The earth didn't shake just because some tectonic plates decided to move. It shook because greed and deception had basically rotted the community from the inside out. It's just a brilliant metaphor that makes this whole analysis so compelling.
Section 5. Victory through unity.
Okay, so how do you even fight a 100-year-old cloud of greed and fear? The village pretty quickly figures out that raw physical power is not going to cut it here. I mean, you can't exactly punch a dark mist, right? The actual solution to saving Sabzipur required this totally unexpected, deeply emotional strategy. Since the mist thrived on division and mistrust, the absolute only way to take it down was to pull the rug out from under it and attack its foundation. They actually had to go through 3 very specific emotional steps to pull this off. Step 1, accepting the truth. Both the villagers and that vengeful survivor had to swallow the really painful reality written in that diary. Step 2, offering forgiveness. The survivor had to let go of a 100-year grudge, which is huge, and the villagers had to forgive him for almost wiping out their home. And finally, step 3, uniting together. Only by joining hands, dropping the whole enemies thing, and working as a single team could they actually generate enough power to restore the Earth's heart.
Section 6. The story's main lesson.
Now, these takeaways are super applicable to our own lives. First off, grudges only breed more destruction. Hanging on to the past almost cost the survivor his soul, and the village their entire existence. Second, true strength really does lie in trust, not isolation. That mist wanted them separated, but uniting together was literally an impenetrable shield. And third, forgiveness is the ultimate weapon against historical wrongs. It's the only thing that actually breaks the cycle. Honestly, these themes are what elevates this from just a fun cartoon to something that really sticks with you.
And I don't think anything captures this vibe better than what the mistaken enemy says during his redemption arc. Admitting a mistake is the first step to change. Think about the guts it takes to realize you've dedicated your entire life to the wrong cause. But because he admitted he was wrong, he wasn't thrown out. The community actually welcomed him back in. He became a real part of Sabzipur, proving that it is literally never too late to make things right. But just when everyone is celebrating and thinking they've won, the ground gives this one tiny final tremor, which leaves us with a massive question. What is this new earthquake signal? Is Sabzipur actually safe? The characters realize really quickly that this isn't the end. It's the start of a brand new mystery. Has an even deeper secret just woken up? That cliffhanger absolutely guarantees we are not done with Sabzipur yet. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep digging into these stories, and I will catch you in the next one.